How to make your wife want you again. Let's have a sit down. Let's talk about it. You clicked on this video because you want your wife to have sex with you again. Maybe she's not having it with you as much as you would like, or as much as, maybe you used to at one point. Maybe you're feeling like you don't matter as much as you used to. You feel like you've just faded into the background of your own life, of your own marriage. Here's the thing, bro. Watch this video. The first thing that you have to do, or rather the first step, is to stop asking for it. Simply stop asking for it and start showing up emotionally instead. Now, what do I mean by showing up emotionally? Well, you might be thinking, why should I have to show up differently when I'm already giving everything, right? Like I'm providing, I'm working. If you're, maybe you're a dad, right? And you're thinking like, isn't all of that good enough? And that's a valid question to ask. And to be honest, being a provider, being a solid dude is essential. But you have to understand, it's the emotional presence that makes women want it. Simply put, it's the emotional capacity to be with her and her emotions that's going to make her want it, right? Like that's what fuels a woman's desire. This isn't about being an alpha male. This isn't about any of this rhetoric that goes around, right? It's emotional connection goes beyond the basics. Your woman needs to feel valued and understood emotionally. And this isn't about this doesn't mean that you need to be soft. This doesn't mean that you need to become soft, but this means you need to level up emotionally, bro. Like that's really what it takes. See, if you're tired of asking for it and feeling rejected or getting rejected, right? Like that makes you feel smaller, right? Like it's tough to ask for something that you feel like should just be natural, should just be happening. But the truth is, asking for it isn't going to get you anywhere, right? Because for her, this isn't necessarily a physical need like it is for me, like it is for you. What the need is for her is just emotional presence, emotional connectedness. So how do you apply this, right? Here's what you have to do. The next time you feel like asking, or the next time you feel like you want it, hold back from asking and just do this simple thing instead. Ask her about her day and what, if anything, is stressing her out. Ask her about her day, and if she's worried about anything, or if there's anything that's just been stuck on her chest or in her mind. And then really actually listen. Don't just do this to check a box because it's obvious, right? Like most women, if you haven't done this work, are emotionally way more advanced compared to you, and they're going to see through you just trying to check a box so that you can get something, bro. Right? Like you can't be transactional about this. So really listen. And so how do you really listen when you ask that question? You're going to take in everything that she says without interrupting, right? And you're going to listen for her saying, I feel, or saying something that she's worried about or stressed about, and then you're just going to give it back to her, right? So if you're, I'm really stressed out about work, right? If she's working, right? Or I'm really worried about, next week, and just listen, right? But all you're going to do is just be like, oh, so you're feeling pretty worried, huh? Or, oh, like you're feeling pretty stressed, yeah? And you're just going to mirror back what she's giving you, bro. Like this is all you have to do. And I promise you, like if you can get better at this, very, very quickly, she's going to start opening up to you in the ways that you really want her to. Being candid, she's going to want to have sex again. So this is number one. Stop asking for it. Start showing up better emotionally instead. Let me know what your thoughts are about that. We've still got 5 more to get to. This is going to be a long video, bro. Buckle up. Now, step number 2, bro, is to realize that this may not even be about you. Like, stop taking her not wanting to do it so personally, right? It's not about you. You have to master your emotions, not getting all wrapped up in, oh, this means something about you, and it's a bad thing, right? That she doesn't want it. All it really means is that you just need to become a master of emotional communication. You have to recognize her point of view and her lived experience and her perspective instead of trying to get yours understood first, right? This is what being a man is. It's being a leader, right? So you have to lead in that capacity. So understand that maybe, for example, if your wife has had children, right? Just an example. You have to recognize that there's probably a lot of unprocessed things that she's dealing with that she might not know how to express in the best way, right? Her body has changed now. Maybe she resents all of the freedom that you have to be able to just go out, right? And be free and not attached right to this baby all the time. You have to recognize that. You have to understand that there could be some unprocessed things going on and be able to create the space for that. And like I'm telling you, I mean, I guess you don't have to, right? But if you want to hang on to this relationship and you want to start having more sex again, like this is just something that you have to be aware of and you have to understand. And with the changes that maybe she's gone through over the years, right? Like every time you bring up wanting to have sex, it's just a reminder of how she doesn't feel the best anymore, or may not feel good in her own skin anymore, right? And it's just a reminder of that, right? Kind of like, you know, think about any change that you've gone through and how there can be certain things or topics that when they're brought up, it just reminds you of that insecurity or that frustration, right? That tough situation that maybe you know, don't necessarily want to revisit yourself. And understand, like, this isn't easy what I'm talking about, bro, but it's what's required. So she's sitting there exhausted. You're sitting there horny, wanting it, right? Like, what do? What you shouldn't do, I'm telling you, is just ask her, you know, when are we gonna have sex again? It's been so long since we've had sex. And instead, just see her, right? Recognize her for something that she's been doing. You could say something like, hey, I realized that you've been working so hard. Like, I wanted to help you relax. And so I've taken care of dinner for tonight, right? Or if she works, right? Maybe you both work, right? Like when she gets home from work, when she gets off of work, say, hey, you look really stressed, and I just appreciate how hard you work, how much you show up for your goals, and I would love if you just went upstairs, right, and just relaxed for a while I take care of X, Y, or Z thing. Because you have to understand, bro, like you have to create the space for her to get into that space mentally, to even be in a place where she wants to have sex. And to be honest, like this is mastery. And this is how you have to become a master of your space, a master of emotions, a master of the world around you, bro. Like you just have to step up in that way. And I'm telling you, if you understand this, it's going to change the game. So let's talk about number 3. Become him, bro. Become him again. Become the person that she was attracted to in the first place. Like, do you remember how when y'all first start dating, right? Like how we do anything to impress, right? We do the small things. We give the effort. We show that drive, right? Like that's often who she falls in love with. And then for some reason, bro, like we get comfortable. We get complacent, right? We stop pursuing in the same way. Now, maybe this isn't you, right? Like maybe you're one of these new age men who's in the manosphere or the red pill who thinks this isn't how you're supposed to operate. But I'm telling you, men are made to pursue. Like we're made to lead. We're made to pursue our woman and to never stop doing that. That's what we're here to do. In the same way we do that with our women, it's the same way we do that with our goals. It's the same way that we do with becoming the best version of ourselves, right? But maybe over the years, or even just lately, you've gotten comfortable. Maybe you've let yourself go mentally, physically, emotionally. And the thing that I want to tell you here is it's not about looking a certain way. Of course that helps, right? Of course that makes a big deal, like striving to be the most attractive version of yourself that you can be. But it's not just about looking a certain way. It's about that self-respect, maintaining it. It's about, self-improving, right? And when she sees you continuing to grow and get after it, she's going to feel that attraction again, because she didn't want to be with someone who was stagnant. She didn't want to be with someone who was comfortable. Right? Every woman wants to be with someone who's constantly evolving. And here's the thing. When you're constantly evolving, when you lead by example, when you make this process of personal development and personal growth so attractive because of the results that it gets you and how it makes you feel, like she's going to ask and want to be a part of that too, along with being so much more attracted to you. Becoming that man who can actually lead her in that way is going to make her so much more attracted to you. So think about it. If you've been skipping workouts, right? If you're not in the gym, it's time to flip the script, bro. Like it's time to level up and become so much more consistent and actually start seeing results in the gym so that you make going to the gym something that's attractive. Right? Because when she starts to see you always getting results and always feeling good, she's going to want that. She's going to want that for herself, right? And you're going to actually be able to show her how to do that. And maybe that's something, maybe that's a hobby that y'all take up together now, right? And she starts to feel so much more attractive, right? Take on a new challenge, bro. Like what's a new what's a challenge that you've been thinking about but been putting off? Right? Like being someone who has those insecurities or those fears and letting that hold you back, like that's not attractive, right? But show her that you're pushing past your comfort zone, right? It's about being ambitious because that's what's attractive and that's what's admirable, right? So even if it's just picking up a new book and you start reading it and you start, talking about it, start applying it to your life, right? Like this is something that's attractive. Now you might be thinking, why do I need to prove myself? Like, why do I need to do more? Right? I personally don't like have a job, right? Like I work for myself. This is what I do. But whether you work for yourself or whether you have a job, you might be thinking already, like I work so hard. Isn't that enough? But you just have to ask the question, bro, like, are you still growing? Are you still striving? Because to be honest, like being a provider isn't enough. Being a provider is basic. Being a provider is like the foundation. You're supposed to do that, and it's not enough, right? Like attraction with a woman is so much more than that. Like women are attracted to men who are always evolving, always getting better. So you have to keep leveling up your mindset. You have to keep leveling up your health. You have to keep reaching your goals, right? And again, it's not about proving yourself, but it's about staying and even improving upon the man that she was attracted to and wanted to be with in the first place. The man who's always pushing forward. So be real, bro. Like if you haven't been pushing forward, if you haven't been leveling up, how could you expect that to be attractive? Right? If you don't like what you look at in the mirror, if you take a picture of yourself and you don't like how it looks, like why would you expect someone else to be attracted to you? right? And I'm not saying this to talk down to you. Like, I've had to have these conversations with myself. Like, we have to always make sure that we're becoming better. So number 3, bro, is just become him. Become the man that she fell in love with again if you've fallen off. And never fall off again. Never get comfortable. Never get complacent. Don't be stagnant. And do this for you, right? Like, just do this for you because you'll feel more confident. You'll feel better. So why not? Like, why not always be trying to become a better version of yourself? Why not? It's worth it. So halfway through, we've got 3 more like that are seriously going to change the game, right? But even if you apply these first 3, it's going to change the game. But if you've already applied these first 3, if this is already, things that you're doing, then these next 3 are kind of like the advanced level, so to speak, or just the next level, bro. And they'll help. So let's get into it. The things that you have to understand as you transition from boyhood to manhood in this capacity, right? In relationships, is understanding that attraction, intimacy, these things happen long before the bedroom, bro. Like, and honestly, that's not even where they happen. So, if every time you touch your girlfriend or you touch your wife, right, and she feels like there's some sort of agenda, she feels like, oh, he's just trying to get it again, she's gonna pull away. And to be honest, she's gonna start to get turned off by you touching her. That's like, it's gonna create the opposite response. So what you have to understand is you have to make physical contact that's just about showing love, right? Like, you have to start hugging her when she's not expecting it. You have to hold her hand again when you're out in public. You have to give her a back rub just because. Like, you have to create the space for her to feel valued and not pressured to do anything, right? Like, because bro, this is advanced, bro, but just trust me. You don't even have to understand why this works. You just have to understand that it works. Now, you might feel away, right, if you show affection and she doesn't respond sexually, right? And you might be asking yourself, what's the question? Like, what's the point if I'm doing this and it's not leading to sex? And to be honest, like, it's normal to think about it this way. But the thing is, like, it feels transactional if every time you touch her, if every time you kiss her, if every time you do something, it's because, you're trying to get it to lead to sex. Like, it's transactional, right? And that's not attractive. Just being real. That's not attractive. So it's like, how do you become affectionate without making it need to go somewhere? And this is going to take some time to rebuild that trust, or to even build that trust. If this is something that you've never had, it's going to take some time. But eventually she's going to start to feel like, okay, he's touching me and it's not for just one reason, right? And so when she feels her cup getting full, right, with that affection that you're giving, there's only one way for that to play out for her. Like, she's going to want to give that back to you. She's going to want to start being intimate with you again. When she feels that safety, and intimacy, when it doesn't feel forced, when it doesn't feel expected, ironically enough, that's when you're going to start to get it more. Like, you have to understand that. So the next time you're watching Netflix, watching TV, just hanging out on the couch, like, just vibing, just chilling, just hold her hand, or like put your arm around her and just let her know that you're there, and be very, very comfortable with nothing happening. Be so cool with nothing happening. And you have to honestly be cool with nothing happening. And I'm telling you, I'm telling you, it's going to change the game. It's going to change the game. But I'm telling you, this isn't 101. Like, this isn't, I mean, if you've never thought about it this way, just understand, like, this is not like the basic course. This is you leveling up. This is you becoming better, right? And a big part of that is just understanding the game to a deeper level. And the game isn't even really a game, but it's about mastering emotions, mastering energy, and creating a safe space for a woman to want to open up to you in that way. All right? Now, let's get into number 5. A lot of men don't understand that they're simply just adding stress to a woman's life. Like, they've become an extra child when they don't have the capacity to share the mental and emotional load. Right? So, think about it. If she's managing the house, cleaning, cooking, paying bills, and maybe even still working on top of all of these things, and you're sitting there like another child, expecting something, still being transactional, it's no wonder she doesn't want to have sex with you, dude. Like, it's no wonder, right? She's exhausted. And now you're just another child, right? That needs his ass wiped, so to speak. And so you have to step up and understand that you have to share that mental load. You have to step up. If you've been sitting back and thinking she's got it, I promise you, she doesn't. But if she felt supported, if you could step in and start taking some of that pressure off, she's gonna start feeling more relaxed. And when your woman feels relaxed, that's when she feels open. That's when she feels connected. And that's the space that she has to be in order to feel like having sex. So instead of waiting for her to ask for help, start taking the initiative. Start handling dinner from time to time. Start cleaning up something without being asked, right? Like, start scheduling things for the two of you to do ahead of time. When she feels like she's not carrying so much on her own, because believe it or not, I know that you feel like you're carrying so much on your own, but understand, so does she. And so, again, being the leader, when she feels like she's not carrying so much on her own, she's going to want to be more open with you. She's going to want to share more with you. And that means she's going to want to have sex with you. And you might be thinking, you already do so much around the house, right? Why do more? And I know some of you guys even think like that's her role. So why do I need to do more? And that's a valid question. However, if you're not having sex as much as you want to, then you just have to accept this as truth. But I want you to be honest with yourself. Are you doing the bare minimum? Could you be doing more? And if the answer is yes, then bro, step up and do some more. That's it. That's it. Step up and do some more. Like, this is what it means to be a real man, to become better. And I'm telling you, when she's less stressed out and she's more relaxed, she's going to want to open up to you in every single way. In every single way. Now, recognize this video is getting a little bit long, so I don't want to overtalk this last one. But just because you're married, it doesn't mean you stop dating. It doesn't mean that you just let all of that energy that y'all had at the beginning just fade. But that's what happens when you stop giving that same effort that you gave in the beginning. So number 6, bro, is just try to show out like you did before. Just try to date her like you did before. These little gestures go a long way. And you might be thinking, well, she should already want me because we're married. And I'm telling you, that doesn't mean that like she's gonna want you. That's flawed logic, right? Desire has to be created. Desire has to be cultivated. I don't make the rules, bro. I don't. This is just how it is. So, like, if you're just coasting and expecting her to want it, like, it's not going to, and she's going to feel neglected in the same way that you've been feeling. And isn't it that, I mean, that's how it works. And to be honest, if you feel you're owed something, and this is just a life principle, if you feel the world owes you something, if you feel other people owe you something, if you feel your woman owes you something, the fact is, bro, you owe that. And once you release that, once you give that, you're going to get it back. Now, you don't have to go overboard with this. It's just showing the effort that becomes attractive. It's just the little gesture that becomes attractive. You don't have to go overboard. You don't have to. It's the little things of showing her that you're still putting in that effort and that she still matters just as much as she did when y'all first got together. Now, these are 6 steps that I've laid out. But ultimately, what am I talking about? Ultimately, what I'm talking about is becoming the man that your wife, that your woman is drawn to emotionally and physically. And that's how you can become better. Becoming better, not just physically, but becoming better emotionally. Some of these, are quick fixes, but you have to not look at them with a quick fix approach. You have to look at it as a new way of being, as a new way of showing up. And once you really understand that that's what it's about, once you really embrace that, she's gonna want it nonstop. She's gonna want it all the time. So, that being said, I hope this helps you, bro. Let me know which of these you're going to apply. If you have any questions about anything that I've talked about, feel free to drop a comment. I'll respond to every single comment. I appreciate you for dropping a comment if you do. With that being said, thank you for watching another video. I'll see you in the next one.